Hi guys, ArchieLuxury on the ArchieLuxury. No, this is the Paul Pluta channel. This is the channel devoted to paid watch reviews. Doing a paid review, 21QA135. This is for Geo. Before we start this review, quick wristwatch check. I'm wearing a Rolex Milgauss Z Blue, the Z Blue. Let's jump straight in here and get this one underway. Hi Arch, greetings from New York. I've enjoyed your videos and perspective for several years. I'm hoping you can do a video review of my small collection and offer your opinion on the next piece that I am considering purchasing later this year. He sent me $70 via PayPal. I'm 34-year-old business manager in the electric vehicle industry, the EV industry. I only buy what I love and don't sell or trade. I thought you'd been a bit of a flipper. I did a review for you a couple years ago. You had the Jazzmeister, the Seiko SKX, the Oris, and the first Omega in space. If I'm not wrong there, I thought that's what you had. Maybe that's was it another guy? I don't know. Anyhow, look, let's just jump straight into this here. I love what I buy. I also like to stick with one watch per brand for now, and where possible, add variety as I build out the collection. Because I have a small wrist, I tend to prefer watches 38 to 40 mils. I also have a small collection of vintage motorcycles and a 1987 Porsche 911 Tiger, which are always in competition with the watches for disposable income. So I'm keeping my collection as efficient and versatile as possible. The current collection, here we go. In order they were obtained. Number one, we've got an Omega Speedmaster, first Omega in space. This was a 30th birthday present to myself. I love the professional, but the first Omega in space fits me better, and I actually prefer the vintage style of the first Omega in space. Bought it on the grey market. New, no one cared for it at the time, so I got a great deal. They seem to be appreciating now. Number two, Rolex Explorer 214270. This came a year later to celebrate an accomplishment in my career. Walked into an AD in Paris and purchased it at retail. When that was a thing you could do with an Explorer, the euro-dollar exchange was very low then, so it was a great deal too. And number three, he's got a Tudor Black Bay 58 blue on bracelet. I searched for a diver for a long time, but nothing in my price and size range spoke to me. I don't want to add another Rolex or Omega just yet. I've always loved the look of the Black Bay 41, but I could never pull off that case. When the Black Bay Blue 58 was released, I fell in love immediately. I swallowed my dignity and begged my local AD for one. They tried to play the bullshit Rolex game, but eventually offered me one reasonably quick, that's good, reasonably quick, when they realized I wasn't willing to dance for it. It's my only diver, adds some fun color to the collection, and serves as my casual weekend watch. It was an impulse buy and I never regretted it. I likely overpaid at retail, but I don't care if it drops a bit in the future. I don't plan to sell it. Now I'm finding myself wearing a suit more often again, and wishing I had a more dressy watch in the collection. I also want to climb up another rung on the horological ladder. I'm torn between these two JLCs. I know JLC can be soft, so I would buy it on the grey market or pre-owned. Budget is $7,000 to $10,000 US, but flexible. Option one is a Jaeger LeCoultre Reverso Tribute Duo Face. It's the right size, the iconic shape, and cool party trick appeals to me, and the Duo Face would add a second time zone to my collection, something useful in my travels that I don't already have. Or option two is a JLC Ultra Thin Moon. 39 mil, silver dial, another perfectly sized, beautiful dress watch. The silver dial and moon phase would also add something new to my collection. So what do you think? Do you have a preference between the two? Am I barking up the wrong tree entirely with JLC? I genuinely love the look of both. If you have any other advice on the direction I should take the collection after this purchase, please share. I look forward to your opinion. Please only use my first name. Thanks. Be well. Geo. So the very interesting thing there, we've got 3-piece collection. Let's just go through that quickly. We've firstly got the Omega Speedmaster, first Omega in space. And I got to tell you, I think he sent me, did he send me a, no, that might be another guy. Sorry, that's the first Omega in space. I got to be totally honest with you. I actually love it. I think it is a absolutely sexy watch. Absolutely gorgeous. Yes, I've just rekindled. I have I better get that out, actually. Speaking of rekindling, I got a Speedmeister myself. I got the Speedmeister Man on the Moon because I sold it. You know, I tell you what, it's silly. It's one of these things. An Omega Speed. I got the traditional, the Helsolite. I really love it. I've got to tell you, I really do love it. I think it's amazing. You know, I just love a manual wind sports watch, and it doesn't get more purer than a Speedmeister. First Omega in space, what do I think? I think it's absolutely beautiful. It's a slightly smaller. I believe in karma, yin and yang. The universe will bring it to you when you're looking. The right one will come up. That's what I kind of believe. If a first Omega in space came up for me, I would have grabbed it as well. I think the first Omega in space is really cool. I love the hands on the first Omega in space. It's a beautiful watch. So I reckon that's a long-term keeper. The only thing I didn't like was the first Omega in space. You couldn't get it on a bracelet. It didn't come standard on a bracelet. But that's a side issue. Then you've got the 214270, the 39mm Explorer 1. Wow, haven't you done well on that? Because they discontinued the 39. It has soared in price. But, you know, that's not the point in buying that watch. It's not about the money, so to speak. There are other reasons that I'm just setting my Speedy as we speak. There's other reasons to love that watch. It's just a cool size. The 39 I think is a great size. I love the 39mm in the Explorer 1. I think that is absolutely perfect. What a great watch to have, really. 39mm Explorer 1. It's simple. There's a lot going for that watch. I had the 1016. That was my first Rolex. And then I had the Sapphire one, the 14270, many years later. And I think the 39 is better. 39, I think the sizing is right. They've gone back to 36, which I don't know what to say about that. But I really do think the 39 would be my pick. I own the 39 as well. I got to say, I've actually got the Z Blue now. I'm actually loving my Z Blue. If I had a choice, I mean, obviously, the Explorer would be the one to keep because it's been discontinued. But they're both very cool watches. And finally, the Tudor Black Bay 58 Blue. Absolutely perfect. Even for me, and I'm a big guy, I think the standard 41mm Black Bay is a little bit clumsy, a little bit. It's not so much the diameter, it's the width. It's quite a tall watch. It's very high. It's very, I think it's a bit too chunky monkey for my liking. But it's, I got to tell you, that's a beautiful three-piece. Beautiful, beautiful three-piece. You've got a lot of bases covered there. Now, let's have a talk about what would I get. I got to tell you, I think there's a number of good pieces you can get. Now, I tend to say with dress watches, I would say the dress watch days, any analog watch, meaning any watch with hands instead of digits, digital, except for a Zeitwerk, because Zeitwerk is still a dress watch. They're a dress watch. I mean, let's be honest there. This whole thing we live in, it's not 1996. So a couple other things I would say would be the Breguet Type 20. That could be a beautiful sports Breguet. The Zenith El Primero Chrono Master, I think, with the 3 colored eyes or the open heart. Maybe the 3 colored eyes, because they do that in a 38 mil. And of course the reversos. Look, I would tend to say myself, the Duo, if you're happy with the Duo, go for it. I personally love the Tribute to 1931, the black dial. I think that is, I actually owned one of those. I think that is a superb watch. And then I would say the other watch you're looking at, the JLC Master Control Ultra Thin Moon. That's also, they're both amazing watches. I like the grand size. I kind of think the reverso. I think if you're buying a JLC, what would I buy? I love the 976. I think that is classic. I've got the reverso Grand Date, which I love. There's many reversos that are amazing. If you're prepared to get a little bit smaller, there's some absolute bargains. I tend to say, out of those two there, I'd probably go the Duo. If you can see, the only problem with the Duo for me is that they've traditionally been in smaller sizes. You haven't quoted me in model number, but a lot of the Duos tend to be a little bit smaller. They use a 19 mil strap, 19 mil, 19 mil. So they're just a smidgen smaller. However, if you like a smaller watch, that's a great way to. Hi guys, ArchieLuxury, and who do I recommend in America? In America, who do I recommend for quality pre-owned wristwatches? David SW, David SW, David SW. Go to davidsw.com. He is the best, the greatest pre-owned dealer in all of the United States of America. David SW, David SW, David SW. But I don't think you could go wrong with either Jaeger-LeCoultre. To me, Jaeger-LeCoultre always go to the iconic model, the Reverso. That's such a wonderful story. If it was me, I'd probably go for a Tribute to 1931. I think manual wind, just classic piece. I've got to say, I like this collection. I like it. We've got an Omega Speedmaster, first Omega in space. We've got an Explorer 1, and we've got a Tudor Black Bay. Now, I got to tell you, that's quite a nice collection. And we add a Duo. We get a GMT type thing happening, time zone travel. I don't think you could be too unhappy with that. That is a great way to advance the collection. So I got to say, in all honesty, that's a great way to go. I don't have a problem with it. Adding a JLC, this is a nice collection. I really love it. We've got many bases, just adding slowly. See, this is what the heart of collecting is these so many Insta wankers out there, you know, they got flexing, showing off all this stuff, when reality is just slow and steady wins the race. Slow and steady really does win the race. That is the best way to go there. That's the way I would say is your better way. Just so many people, this Instagram, and they just, I don't know what it is. You know, they just go on and on and on. But look, I think that's a beautiful collection. Add a JLC, it's quality, it's nice. Hey, how could you go wrong with that? So, wonderful collection. Add the JLC. I'm ArchieLuxury. That's been a paid review there. Tell me what you think, guys. Like, subscribe, tell your friends. Put some comments below. And don't be afraid to get a paid review done. I can't survive on the Google ads. I desperately need paid reviews to keep me on the YouTubes, guys. Paid reviews is what keeps me on the YouTubes. $50 US. Look in the description and get a paid review done now. Like, subscribe, and tell your friends, and don't be afraid to get a paid review. $50 US for a paid review. It helps me stay full-time on YouTube, and I will see you in the next one. $50 US paid review. I can't survive on Google ads. I need your support. And guys, you could also sponsor me on Patreon. Patreon allows you to pay as little as $1 a month to keep me on YouTube. Hey guys, ArchieLuxury. Who do I recommend for watches in Brisbane and Sydney? Vintage Watch Co. That's correct. Vintage Watch Co. in Brisbane Arcade in Brisbane and the Strand Arcade in Sydney. Vintage Watch Co. Brisbane and Sydney. Ronnie, I've known him since the late 90s. Ronnie is a top bloke. Luke is a great guy. Vintage Watch Co. That is who I recommend in Australia. Check out Vintage Watch Co. and the guys' amazing range of watches. They also do service and repairs. Vintage Watch Co. That is where the pontiff goes. You know, some of my Pateks came from Vintage Watch Co. That's right, guys. Vintage Watch Co.